Well, g'day there. I wanted to show you something slightly different, and this is something I came across. I heard these unusual sounds coming out of the radio at 10.084 megahertz. So here I've got it on a SDR device here, listening to 10.84 megahertz. I wanted to find out what this noise was and if I could decode it. And guess what? I was able to do both. So hang around and I'll show you how easy it is. HFDL stands for High Frequency Data Link Signals, which is basically where aviation, as in airplanes, talk to ground stations all around the world on the HF bands. So I was able to decode this sound by this program here, PCHFDL. It's a free program, however you can obtain a license so that it doesn't time out after 5 minutes. So what I've got happening here at the moment is that I've got it from the SDR device, as I showed you earlier, and the sound I've got into my VB cable, audio input, virtual cable, and then you'll find that here, if I go to my sound card configuration, it's got the output of the virtual cable. So a couple of tips when downloading the software, it was pretty easy to install. It only took seconds. It's very small. But one tip I've got is don't install it in the default directory. Store it in your user directory instead. And I'll show you why soon. But here's the main screen of the program. So you can open and close the Squidders box, and that gives you a little bit more info as to what's happening here. This is the main screen here, and that's the full message that's coming in. So up the top here is the time slots. So you can see we've got time slot 10, 9, 8, 7 through to 1. And you can see there's some noise that happened in time slot 4 at the moment. Here we've got something happening in time slot 0. You can see when that came in time slot 0 that this screen here on the far right moved and did some things when it came in. Let's wait for the next one to come in and then you'll see it. But our last one was an aircraft at 21:28. That's UTC time. And that's where it is, the longitude and latitude as to where it is currently. There we go, there's a bit there, as you can see, the Squidder box moved, and there's time slot 0. So here's the ground station, heard it from Auckland, New Zealand, and you can see the preamble underneath here. So sometimes this preamble has just its locations, direction and height, but sometimes it also might have a message. So there we go, there's a message there. So I've only heard these flights here. I've only had this on for a little time. There's 4 flights there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I can see what they last said up the top there. So there's a few options down the right here. DX Atlas, that is a mapping program if it's installed on your computer. The Squidders displays information in a separate box, which is over the right here. There we go, it shows the time slots that it's talking in each plane as well. Further down we've got the preamble, which displays in the main window. I won't go through all these, but they're usually the boxes that I tick anyway. That's kind of my default. So one thing is you can put these aircraft numbers into Flight 24, and then you'll see not only where they are currently, and it'll confirm what you've got here, but you also got pictures of the aircraft and what it looks like. So one other thing you can do is put it into Google Earth. The way you do that is you go right, click on temporary, and then go network link. Browse to the folder where you have installed the program. For me, it's here. And you can see 2 KMLs. One's the ground stations and where they're located, and one's the aircraft. So I'm going to click aircraft. Then up top here, I'm going to type in aircraft. And there we are. We can start to see what aircrafts I've heard. And there's some of them there. 3 of them there. So I can see which way they're tracking. All the aircrafts seem to always point north, so it looks like the planes going backwards on this occasion. I'm sure it's not, but that's where it's tracking and where it's been. So you can open this up on the left here, and you can go to each plane and have a look where it is. So if we open up the ground file, right click, add network link, let's browse, and we choose the ground stations, and I'm just going to give this a name, ground, so that I remember which one it is. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the aircraft off and just turn the ground ones on. So let's see where they are. They're basically all around the world. There's a ground station right around the world in all different locations everywhere. However, the only ground station I've heard on this, which I've only had running for a little while, is the New Zealand one. But you can see here on the left, there's one in Russia, Ireland. The New Zealand one's the one I've heard, California, Hawaii, and so on across to Spain. So let's have a look at the New Zealand one, because that's the one that I've close to me, because I'm over here in Melbourne and New Zealand is up here. So I assume that's where the base is there. It looks like an airport there, and that's probably where it is coming from, or the buildings there, I'd assume. And there's the airport. So as these planes go across, they can transmit to the ground station, depending upon where they are. Now, sometimes they don't talk to the closest ground station. They might talk to one up here. It depends which one, the propagation, and which one they're connecting to, and also which direction they're going to. But I'm here in Melbourne, down the bottom of Australia. I've actually heard planes right over in Europe, across here, just across Spain. I heard that last night. So when the propagation's working, it works quite well. His website is fantastic. He also has his own YouTube channel and some fantastic stuff on his website. So I'd encourage you to have a look at this. On this page here, and I'll put a link in the description, he's gone to the trouble of listing all the frequencies and locations. So like I said, there's California, and there's the frequencies that they use and the time slots. So depending upon the propagation and time of day and things, it depends what frequency is being used. So there's the USA, Iceland, New York, New Zealand. That's the one I'm listening to that frequency there. But you could see there's probably other planes, or there would be other planes on the other frequencies for New Zealand. Some planes will fly over Australia, and they may not even talk to New Zealand. They might talk to Thailand. So there's another. So South Africa, South Korea, and the list goes on. Russia. These places have all been chosen, so they've got a full global coverage. And like I said, Spain. And there's a map of where all of the ground stations are. New Zealand, Thailand, Ireland, Iceland, and so on. They're all listed there. And that's a really good YouTube video to watch there on the bottom of that page if you're keen to learn more. So that's what I've learned. If you want to update, say you've heard a few more, let's go back to aircraft. So if you remember last time we looked, we had 3 planes there. I'm just going to refresh that, right click and refresh, and there we go. We've got a couple more planes that have joined us now that we've heard. There's a few more out here as well. So we're hearing quite a few planes now. And as we leave that on, we'll hear them tracking like these other ones have. So we can't tell which direction they're going. We can't, just because the plane's facing north doesn't mean it's going north. This one here is getting close to going over Uluru in Central Australia. So there we go. There's something different, whether you're into airplanes or not. I'm not really into airplanes, but I do appreciate them. And I found this quite interesting to be able to decode stuff on HF. So if you've enjoyed this, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to put your comments below as to what you can hear. I'm interested what planes you heard and how far away they were. Did you get them as far as I did, right across the other side of the world? Links are below. I value hearing from you too. Thanks very much.